Hello, Steve Arts 89. Wow, Katy Perry, she's just having a very, very bad time at the moment. There's a lot of hype about her new album before it came out, but then things started to go wrong and it didn't do so well. And then she went up to space and made a douche out of herself. And a little bit of that was some misogyny because men just didn't like women going into space. Like they criticised these women for the same things that the men did, and no one cared when the men did it. So there's a little bit of that. But Katy, for example, just like the whole, oh, you don't really know the meaning of love until you've gone into space. She said something like that. I heard the quote, but she was just wow, just cringe, and just it didn't do her. It didn't help her album sales. Didn't help her perception. It wasn't the PR thing she needed. And then she started her tour, and oh my god, all these videos of her on stage looking ridiculous, and people are just trashing her. And apparently she broke down on stage and cried because people were calling her the Timu Gaga or something, and I'm just like, well, Gaga's the Timu Madonna, but whatever. But yeah, I feel bad for her on one level, but another level I don't, because I never really liked Katy. Now, I've never bought any of her albums or any of her singles. I've heard a few of them. I didn't mind some of them. And I saw her in concert for some reason. I think because I had a friend who's obsessed with Katy, and he met her at one of the shows, and he just goes on and on about her, and I just sort of was like, he just made me want to see her live. And I saw her live, and she was fine. I didn't get a great seat or anything. I was in like the middle of the arena. I wasn't down the front like I normally am. And it was okay. I liked it. I like, okay. But something about her I never liked was she was always really self-deprecating. She always had this element that I felt, that sort of self-deprecation always comes across to me as insecurity. And like someone like Madonna walks through the world like she should be treated like a queen. Katy Perry was sort of like there apologetically. Like she had that persona, that character in, was it Last Friday Night or something? That song where she just is this like big braces and just ridiculous, and she seemed to make a joke out of herself a lot of the time. And I felt that just really came across as insecure and not really having any confidence. And maybe that was something that appealed to young teenage girls who were insecure and didn't know who they were yet. And it feels like sometimes she doesn't know who she is really. And the performances just come across kind of hollow and cheap camp or something. They just don't work. And maybe, like I said, maybe, young teenage girls now, they're not engaging with her, and the ones who were young teenage girls are now adults who are mature and know who they are and look at Katy Perry and go, who is this person? Because unless this is just part of the show where she's playing that character and people are just pulling those videos and trying to make it look like the whole show is like that, maybe there's some of that, but it just looks like she just doesn't really know who she is, and she's just insecure. And I don't know, for a while there was this whole Gaga versus Katy Perry thing, which like for who was like, queen of pop at the time. And, Katy won a few battles and Gaga won a few battles, and they both sort of drifted off. And then somehow Gaga came back. I mean, I don't know whose child she sacrificed to the devil, but she did it with someone's child, and she's back. And I mean, she's reheated those nachos and people are just gobbling them up like, nothing else. I don't know how she did it, but yeah. Katy, no, she hasn't had that success. She's floundering and she's a mess, and I feel bad for her, but I don't really care on one level. Like if she just disappeared, I'd be fine with, Madonna and Kylie. And some people are criticising Beyonce, saying her tickets aren't selling, and then there was like some fight in the VIP section or something, and there's a lot of racists who just hate her because she's black, and hate her because she did country, even though, hello, she's from Texas. She's a country girl, so, of course she's going to do country. So there's a bit of that. But Katy's a pretty white girl, and she has that Christian background, so I'm not quite sure if anyone's going to be attacking her for any of those sort of reasons that Gaga gets crap or Madonna gets crap, or Beyonce or even Kylie gets crap on some level. So I just don't know why she's flailing and failing and doing it this spectacularly, but yeah, I just had to comment on it because it's kind of a thing. And we'll see. I don't know what she's going to do next. I mean, maybe at some point you just have to stop being a pop star. And I think there's also that thing where the record contracts only have you for so long, and they really only support you for so long, and then once you get past that, you sort of negotiate and you get your own sort of sense of control and you do your own music, and maybe that doesn't sell as well, and sometimes you just have to just do your own thing. And like Cyndi Lauper did that for years, where she just did her own music and she didn't try to sort of keep being a pop star and all that, and she did little tours and everything, and she was fine. Now the last tour she did, you know, the big arena one, and did all the old classics and everything. But maybe Katy just needs to go find herself and do a few albums, a few tours where she's just making music to express herself as an artist and not trying to be a pop star. Maybe that's what she needs. But she needs to do something, because this is like, yeah, this is a disaster. But we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Katy Perry in her current era.